Hi everyone, this video is about Robinson Crusoe, and we're going to analyze a famous passage taken from the novel, which is a list that Robinson sets of evil versus good, so the positive things and the negative things about his situation. So after the shipwreck on the island, he feels desperate, but he decides anyway to analyze his condition to find the positive side of it. You may probably think, what's the positive side of being shipwrecked on a desert island? Well, there's always a positive side. There's a famous English saying that goes like, there's a silver lining in every cloud, which means there's always something beautiful, even in the most horrible conditions. If there's a cloud coming, if there's a storm approaching, there's always a silver lining, there's always something beautiful in it. So Robinson is trying to make the effort of finding this beautiful, positive thing in his situation. First of all, we have to remember that Robinson is a Puritan man. He's a hard-working man, and he's considered to be an example of a self-made man, a homophobe, so a man who makes things, who reacts. So he knows he's desperate, he knows he's in a horrible condition, but anyway, he tries to react to find something positive in it. Let's analyze this passage, which is taken from the textbook Only Connect, page C44. I now began to consider seriously my condition and the circumstance I was reduced to, and I drew up the state of my affairs in writing, not so much to leave them to any that were to come after me, for I was like to have but few heirs, as to deliver my thoughts from daily poring over them and afflicting my mind. So he says, I started to keep a journal, not because I knew that somebody after me was going to read it, because I know that I would probably have no heir, but simply because I wanted to deliver my thoughts from daily poring over them and afflicting my mind. So I wanted just to have some relief from my continuous thoughts. I wanted to stop my continuous thoughts. And as my reason began now to master my despondency, I began to comfort myself as well as I could, and to set the good against the evil, that I might have something to distinguish my case from worse. So he's saying, inizio a tranquillizzare la mia mente cercando di considerare semplicemente il bene contro il male e distinguere il mio caso da quello che potrebbe essere un caso addirittura peggiore, giusto per darmi un po' di conforto. And I stated very impartially, like debtor and creditor, the comforts I enjoyed against the miseries I suffered thus. So what does he decide to do? Impartially, decide imparzialmente di fare questa lista, like debtor and creditor, using this type of economical example. Debitore e creditore, sono debitore di una determinata cosa ma creditore di un'altra. So he's trying to analyze his condition from a very empirical point of view, practical point of view, as he would do if he were working in a bank, okay? And then it begins with the list, evil versus good. Let's try to analyze them together. So there's always a couple of a negative thing combined to a positive thing. Evil. I am cast upon a horrible desolate island void of all hope and of recovery. Quindi sono abbandonato su un'isola deserta, privo di qualsiasi tipo di speranza di essere salvato. Good, but I'm alive. And not drowned, as all my ship's company was. Però perlomeno sono vivo e non sono affogato come tutti gli altri. Evil, I'm singled out and separated, as it were, from all the world to be miserable. quindi sono completamente solo, separato dal resto del mondo nella mia condizione miserabile. Good, but I'm singled out too from all the ship's crew to be spared from death, and he that miraculously saved me from death can deliver me from his condition. Here's the Puritan man. He's saying, yes, I'm alone, but I was spared from death, mi è stata risparmiata la morte. And he that saved me, so God that decided to save me, probably has a plan for me. And this plan maybe is connected to the fact that one day he will deliver me from this condition. Probabilmente Dio ha un piano. Se mi ha salvato dallo shipwreck, probabilmente vuole anche salvarmi un giorno da questa terribile condizione. And that is connected to the Puritan theory, the Calvinist theory of predestination. So your destiny is already written, but the sacrifices, the hard working that you show during your life may contribute to your life after death. Let's go on with the list. I'm divided from mankind, a solitaire, one banished from human society. Quindi, ancora, sono separato dal resto dell'umanità, sono solo, sono stato bandito dalla società umana. Good, but I'm not starved and perishing on a barren place, affording no sustenance. Però non sto morendo di fame, non sono in un luogo desolato dove non posso procurarmi nessun mezzo di sostentamento. Sostanzialmente riesco a mangiare, riesco a sopravvivere. Evil, I have no clothes to cover me. Good, but I'm in a hot climate where if I had clothes, I could hardly wear them. This is again another very practical condition. Non ho vestiti, ma sono su un'isola deserta dove fa caldissimo, non mi servono. I am without any defense or means to resist any violence of man or beast. Non posso difendermi da attacchi di bestie feroci. But I am cast on an island where I see no wild beasts to hurt me as I saw on the coast of Africa. What if I had been shipwrecked there? So here he says, I'm completely alone here and I can't defend myself if somebody attacks me. But there's no one here. There are no wild beasts. I can see no wild beasts. And what if I had been shipwrecked there? Lui prima aveva detto, provo a considerare la mia miserabile condizione pensando anche al fatto che ci possa essere qualcosa di peggio. E se io fossi stato abbandonato sulle coste dell'Africa invece, dove ci sono animali feroci, non sarei sopravvissuto neanche un giorno. Quindi esiste una condizione peggiore della mia. This is the reasoning he's following. He's trying to analyze pros and cons of his situation, but also to consider the fact that his situation is probably better than some other situations. I have no soul to speak or relieve me. Non ho nessuno con cui parlare che mi possa dare un po' di sollievo. But God wonderfully sent the ship in near enough to the shore that I have gotten out as many necessary things as will either supply my wants or enable me to supply myself, even as long as I live. Vero, sono solo, non ho nessuno con cui parlare, però Dio mi ha lasciato la nave comunque vicino alla riva, da cui sono riuscito a recuperare tutte le cose che mi erano necessarie o che mi potevano servire. So again, God has a plan for me. I'm alone here, but the ship is a sign from God. So the ship is there for a specific reason. God has decided to help me. I should consider that as a sign, as a positive sign. And that's the end of the list. And then he says, upon the whole, here was an undoubted testimony that there was scarce any condition in the world so miserable. Quindi era indubbio che la mia condizione fosse tra le più miserevoli al mondo. But there was something negative or something positive to be thankful for it, and let this stand as in a direction from the experience of the most miserable of all conditions in the world, as we may always find in it something to comfort ourselves from, and to set in the description of good and evil on the credit side of the account. So he's saying, sono nella condizione più miserabile possibile. Ma questo mi fa capire che anche in queste condizioni, nella peggiore condizione miserevole al mondo, possiamo sempre trovare qualcosa che ci conforta. To set in the description of good and evil on the credit side of the account. Ritorna alla metafora della banca. Saremo sempre a credito sul nostro conto corrente se faremo questa lista di pros and cons. We will always be on the credit side of the account. If you make a list of pros and cons, of negative things and positive things, the positive things will always be much more than the negative ones. So it's an invitation, probably we should read it like this in these days, always to be positive, always to consider the credit side of the account. Thank you for watching and say hello to Leonardo with his face mask on.